The following stream contains mature language and themes. Subjects that may be disturbing to some individuals will arise. Viewer discretion is advised. Good evening, and welcome to the Onyx Path Twitch channel. And we're Haunted Chronicles, and this is the Wyrd West. We are down one player for a bit this evening. Be joining us later, and we are actually going to have a guest this evening as well. So we'll figure all that out as time rolls on. How's everybody doing? We all set? All right. I will remind that there is a mature content warning, and we got a little mature content last time, and we probably will again because it's just the kind of folks we are. And here I am messing with labels and stuff. All right, I'm going to pay attention to what I'm doing. Where we left off last time, the group had just met with some people from another world. Aliens, if you will. They had some communication issues, but they were able to make that moist and get it figured out. All was good from there. Following that, they'd come up with the idea of trying to hypnotize Caleb so that they could determine what happened to him when he disappeared, and as the aliens put it, they probed deeply into him, deep enough to reach into his mind. Emilio went upstairs to get some of his books on the subject, and at that point he discovered Violetta had vanished. Digging around through his stuff, comes running down the stairs to everyone with this note in his hand from Violetta, stating that she's going to prove herself. She's going to prove that she's capable and intelligent. And don't worry, Daddy, I'll be fine. Obviously, with this, Emilio is somewhat distressed and makes his way out the door, attempting to go find Violetta. And Bonnie looks around the room. Well, y'all, I think the hypnotist's been put on rest for a little while. I think we're going to let Papa go take care of his own business. You guys better figure out what you're going to do. I think you got to find that brother of yours, Caleb.
Like I said, I'd like to go help him find his daughter. I suppose I gotta look for my own too.
You have a daughter?
Especially in light of what just happened.
Wait, you have a daughter?
No, my own kin.
Oh, all right. I was just a little confused by that.
I'm not the best with words.
Well, just out of curiosity, what are you the best with?
horses, and cattle.
Good to know. That could come in very handy.
Well, how are we gonna find your brother if we don't have the hypnosis? Because you don't remember really well what happened, and so the hypnosis was supposed to unlock that part of your mind that all that is stored into, that supposedly these alien people went to. So what do we do?
I don't know. Go out looking for him the old-fashioned way. Ride out and see if we can find tracks.
I suppose we've got a couple people doing that, right?
You have an idea yourself, Miss Amethyst?
Um. Well, see, I got a really good memory, and so that's not really something that I've dealt with. Uh, I think maybe we just, I don't know, maybe we go to where you got, um, is the word abducted? Maybe we go there and see if you remember, or maybe we go to your, yep, maybe we go to your brother's favorite places.
Well,
I don't know. I think locations hold a lot of memories sometimes, like sometimes you go somewhere and you smell something or you see something and then it's like, whoa, I remember that thing. At least I think that's how it works for other people. I don't know. I just remember it. But I don't know. I think that might work for you, maybe.
sure, sure. Well, I think the circumstances of me not remembering this encounter are more than simple forgetfulness, but sounds
Yeah.
as sound an idea to me as any.
Unless anybody else knows hypnose.
I certainly don't know how to do that.
I'm afraid that's not within my skill set.
Well, where's everybody else going again? Miss Minnie Morrow?
Well, I had intended to help search for Violetta.
In the Marshall too, right?
Well, with Emilio heading out there to find Miss Violetta, I was thinking about heading up there to see Casa, give her some warning about the folks coming in, and see if maybe she can spare a tracker. I want to take a better look at that field.
Oh well, but the Hopi are really spiritual people, right? They're connected to the land and the ground, and they have their rituals, and so maybe one of them knows something that we can do to Caleb to help him remember.
That could
So maybe
be.
we go with you.
Well,
And if it was some kind of like abduction with like well, abductions and aliens, that's in the sky, right? They're from somewhere else, and I mean the Hopi have the best view of the sky in the whole area. So I think maybe we get up there, and I don't know. I think that might work.
Well, I'm sure that might work. But I was liking that thought you had about taking him out where he last was seen. Might come up with something. And aside from that, it's a long way up to that mesa anyhow. Bring all of you up there. Who's down here to keep an eye on things in case he comes back with Miss Violetta?
Oh. Well, maybe we try that spot first, and then if we don't hear from you or we don't figure anything out, we go and meet you up on the mesa.
that sounds sensible enough to me, though. I'm not sure exactly what we're suggesting to do up on the mesa. I don't know much about all this talk of aliens or.
Yeah, well, I don't know much about it either. I guess what I mean to say is this. If they got somebody that knows something about this type of thing, I'll find out while I'm up there and I'll bring them down with me. And it can't be any stranger than that hypno what's it that he was getting ready to perform on you anyways.
Perfect.
All
Well,
right. Well,
I gotta
Sounds like
ask,
we gotta go.
Marshall, would you rather me keep an eye on these folks or come along with you?
Why, I think I'll manage just fine. And, well, I think these folks could use your skills.
Well, you shouldn't go anywhere alone, Mr. Marshall. There's all these strangers here, and the last time we went up to the mesa, there were those spiders.
That's awful sweet of you, Lady Amethyst, but I've been riding alone a lot longer than I've been riding with folks, so.
Well, maybe just shoot in the air or something if anything happens.
Yeah, I'll give you 3 quick shots if that comes to be.
Okay. Be safe, Mr. Marshall.
Absolutely. You too, Lady Amethyst. Caleb, you keep that long gun close to you.
Always do, especially these days.
Probably for the best.
So as you make your way outside, Bonnie kind of mumbles, don't worry about Violetta. She's going to be fine. She knows what she's doing. And walks around to get the horses. Marshall, I assume you get on your horse and go ahead and head out one direction, and you guys are headed out in the opposite way. Take you about 20-30 minutes to make it out to where the area where you were at when the event occurred, Caleb. So, in fact, you're not too far from the cornfield.
A lot of strange things going on these days. A lot of strange talk, too. Hearing a lot of words I never encountered before.
Whereabouts was it, Caleb?
Let's see. Caleb will look around and settle on where he remembers seeing his father.
All right.
There. That's where I saw him.
Okay. Well, don't let me interrupt your rambling about the aliens and stuff. Go ahead and go on with that.
Well, we got more important things to talk about.
She pats you on the back and goes, "That's right." Walks over to the area where you're looking at, and it's been a few weeks, so things have grown up around the area a little bit, but it's still obvious where the ground was scorched in a circle. And the plants around it that had been just cut, kind of like the cows, just a circle just cut. They've grown back a little bit on it, but you can see where the wounds are in those.
I just don't understand. Did the grass look like this whenever I was there last?
When you came back, it was. When you left, it was just grass.
Right.
Well, Caleb, does this bring back any memories to you?
Caleb will try and assume the same position he was in before, stand in the same place, and just give a good think.
Bonnie's going to lean over to Lady Amethyst. What are we supposed to do now?
Well, you go to the location and you take in well, like when you're trying to survive and you're trying to remember places, you look to the stars for direction, the North Star, right? So maybe I don't know, me and Caleb had a nice night looking at the stars, so maybe look at the stars. and see if they speak to you again like they did that night. And maybe smell. Sometimes the wind carries some kind of smell that might take you somewhere or show you something. Or
Well, we can try and look up at the stars, but I'll be honest, I really hope they don't do anything funny tonight. As for smells, I don't know how to have the same smells happen.
So basically, you're just looking for something to raise your emotional content and jog your memory, right?
Sure, I mean, it's not like I expect to turn and see my father again. Like I did that night.
She pulls out a revolver, cocks it, sticks it in the middle of your forehead, and says, "What happened to you?"
That'll definitely work.
Miss Manny, do something. What's happening?
Minnie will go up. What? Do you really think this is gonna work?
You
Caleb,
put
your
that
hands
gun down.
Caleb, put your hands down.
You keep
I got
your
a gun
hands
pointed
up.
at me.
As much as Minnie doesn't want to, she will step in front of Caleb.
Well, you can't. I mean, it's right up against his forehead, so I mean that would be a little hard to get in between. So you would have to take some kind of an action against Bonnie. You have to shove her aside or something.
I guess I'm gonna have to push her ass out of the way. Enough's enough. What am I rolling? If she shoots me, I'm gonna punch her.
Well, if you're just trying to brute force your way through there, it's a little bit of a brawl, and let's go with strength because you're trying to push her aside.
Right. So, could it be survival instead?
That may come after when you're trying to get past the gunshot wound.
So, if brawl is empty and my strength is a 1, is that a luck die or a nothing?
Yeah, it is because you get a minus for the 1 for the unskilled. So yeah, luck die.
Caleb, you better come down and spend some money. Because that's a 3. That's a no success.
Well, that's only 4 successes on her part. So you come in to push on her arm, and it's the equivalent of running into a brick wall, as her arm does not move. She reaches across with her other hand across her body to you, grabs your hair, and pulls you backwards, kind of like that. And you just sit down over there and be quiet.
Excuse you?
This is not what I had in mind, Miss Skills. I don't necessarily know if this kind of pressure is going to do anything for Caleb. I think it might just kind of make him upset, and he's good with the gun, and you're good with the gun, and I think this is getting a little out of hand.
Do you have any idea how long it takes me to do my hair?
She's right. It takes her a long time.
No.
Caleb, anything?
Is there a roll I can make to try and remember anything, or do I need to try and get her gun away from my head?
It's whatever you want to do. If you want to try and focus on your memory, you are welcome to do that.
Should probably do that.
Let's just take it as straight wits and composure.
All right. Wits and composure. That's going to be... let's see. Now, I don't have my dice with me at the moment. Do you mind if I roll it digitally?
That's fine.
All right. Composure. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Okay.
Somehow I feel like his dice are magically arriving. I mean,
Yeah. Well, for now though, I already made the roll on the internet and I got 2 successes.
all right. So yeah, you catch you remember, like you said, you rode up and saw your dad on the side, and your dad called out to you. That's the whole reason you went over there, is somebody called out to you and the voice was familiar to you. And when you went over there, you saw your dad.
Somebody called out to me. They called out. It was a familiar voice. And I went to go see who it was. I took my gun too. I remember it got cut to pieces whenever I was taken. He reaches back to the saddle and pulls out a rifle, holds it the same way he did that night.
And
Somebody say something.
Bonnie decocks the weapon and looks over and says, "Now see, you just got to give it a chance to work. Now wait till I pistol whip him and it all comes back."
Can you go ahead and do that? Help him out, mess up my hair. Takes hours.
I just what did your dad say to you, Caleb?
What did he say to me?
Now I'll take about like 10 paces back, and I'll just go,
What did he say to me?
son. my son. Did he say something like that? Oh, that would probably ruin it. Hold on. Son, and then I'll stay quiet.
He said he needed help. That's what you remember. He said, the way he got you over there, he said, "I need some help. I need you over here now." And he kind of had to goad you to coming over there.
That's right. He said he needed help. He told me to come over now.
Well, come help me and help me now.
Help me now.
Right now. I need help.
Paul? Is that you?
Son, it's me, and I need you to come over here right now and help.
Paul, you're supposed to be dead.
You're supposed to be helping me right now. Come here.
No. I said, Paul, you're supposed to be in heaven with Mom.
Visitors hours.
I don't know what that means, Riley.
Well, sometimes when you have relatives that like get into jail, you can only see them whenever they come here right now.
Caleb will walk over and he'll play along and try and reenact it just to see if that jogs anything else.
All right. Meanwhile, Bonnie's standing with her hands on her hips, just kind of looking down, shaking her head.
Miss Amethyst, I appreciate the valiant effort and your valiant effort to save me, Miss Morrow. Don't think I didn't notice, but I don't think this is working. Though I do recall something else, and I just missed it at the time. But I remember floating, lifting up into the sky.
Now, just so we understand, was this before or after you took your clothes off? Because I distinctly remember them saying you insisted on getting naked for some reason.
I was fully clothed.
That's not what they said. Are you
Well, I don't
casting
care what they
aspersions
said.
on our fine guests?
They cast aspersions on me first, madam.
2 against 1.
Well,
They said she was naked.
if we're reenacting it, I think you're going to have to go for the whole reenactment here, Mr. McCarty.
Well, I don't think
That's it.
I don't think Caleb would have gotten naked on his own.
I can help him.
No, I don't think we should do that at all. I think we should trust Caleb on his word, and he doesn't want to be in the nude, so he shouldn't have to be in the nude.
Thank you.
Well, if we're going to reenact it, shouldn't it be accurate?
I'm pretending to be his pop. I never met the man. I'm sure he was a great guy, but I don't know what he sounded like. I'm just trying to be gruff. I don't know. I mean, I think we're doing as good as we can.
Well, it's just a thought, but I mean, she has a point. Even if she did mess up my hair.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and walk back over to Caleb, and I'm gonna grab both of his shoulders. I'm gonna look at him in the eyes, and I'll just kind of. It's for Isaiah, Caleb. You got to remember, okay? Just close your eyes and focus, and I'll just squeeze his shoulders real tight.
At the moment she touches your shoulders and says this, you suddenly see a different face. You see a grayish face with large eyes, no discernible mouth, and you are being pushed backwards onto something. It seems it's not like anything you've ever seen. It's some kind of a metal, but it's a very smooth and shiny metal table.
Caleb steps back and lifts his rifle.
In the real world, outside of the mission, is he lifting a rifle to me?
Yeah, he said he had a rifle in his hand, so absolutely.
Okay.
Miss Amelia, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to point this at you. I just I saw something. I mean, Amethyst, Miss Amethyst.
Well, come on, spit it out. What'd you see?
Monster, demon, gray, with black eyes, almost like no mouth. It was pushing me onto something, a table maybe.
So you were laying down on a table, and this big thing over the top of you?
All I can say is it was pushing. Sorry, excuse me.
Bonnie's going to take a couple of steps forward. And if you want to resist this, you can. I'll go ahead and roll for it just in case you do. Yeah, not too bad. She's going to step forward, grab the rifle in one hand, kind of midpoint on the rifle, put a leg behind you, and kick backwards, and while pushing you to make you basically go over onto your back.
I think just by reflex, even Caleb is going to resist.
All right. Give me a dexterity and brawl, please.
Dexterity and brawl. Okay. That's not too bad. Just a second. Got some dice. Good.
I'm making the mistake of watching chat tonight, and it's giving me ideas.
Oh, yeah? All right. Do this. this way. Dexterity, brawl. Okay.
Eights, nines, or tens, and tens explode.
All right. I've got 3 successes.
Well, that is a match. So she's going to do that and kick your leg, which is kind of make you stumble a little bit, but you maintain your footing. So now she's got one hand on the rifle. I assume you've got 2 hands on the rifle, and her legs and your leg are somewhat intertwined.
Just what in Sam Hill are you trying to do now?
I'm trying to help you reenact it. You said you're supposed to be lying on the ground. You don't want to take your clothes off, fine, but hit the table.
Miss Skills, please don't probe him.
Well, that's not why I was grabbing the rifle from him, but he's in a bit of an emotional state.
Okay.
You really think if I fall back, I might remember something?
Well, you're remembering a little bit here and there. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm more than happy to go back to the pistol whipping.
Well, let's avoid that, I suppose. All right, try it again. And this time Caleb will deliver.
All right. So she doesn't make you hit hard. She just kind of puts you backwards onto the ground. And she, let me have the rifle, please. Let's just put this somewhere safe. All right. She'll go put it back into your holster on your horse. And then she'll come and she'll stand over you. And she'll look down at you and she goes, I ain't got big black eyes, but I got black skin. Is that good enough?
Well, I told you they were gray, so I don't think that's going to help any.
Well, I don't think I'm going to turn gray anytime soon. I was trying to put a little humor in the mood here.
Well, I'm sorry. I don't find this very funny.
So they put you on the table and you had no clothes on.
So they say.
Now you keep saying they. How many people were in the room with you?
How many people I don't know.
Miss Minnie Morrow, maybe we go stand by him. And if it's 3, then maybe that'll jog memory. Or maybe if it's not 3, one of us moves back. Here, your hair's beautiful. It's gonna be okay.
A freebie on the memory, it was 3.
Suppose it's worth a shot. Let's try it.
Okay. We'll go stand next to Miss Gills and kind of look at Caleb.
Well,
And do I remember that there were 3?
You remember there were 3, yes.
Yeah, this feels right. 3 of them. There were 3 of them.
And what were they doing to you at this point? And she'll put her hands on your side and kind of, were they touching on you?
Will it help if we touch on you? Will that jog some memories?
I don't think any of us should touch on him.
Well, unexpected things have been jogging memories. Just watch where you touch.
Sure. I'll watch closely.
No grabbing his tentacles now, Miss Minnie.
He doesn't have any. And she'll start patting him down. Anything?
Mm-hmm.
I'll just grab his hand like I was going to for the hypnosis. I'll just hold his hand.
Okay. you suddenly, it's like everything shifts. You're in a dark space. These three creatures are over you. They're continually talking, but not anything you understand. You hear the words flaccid. Um, I'm trying not to say anything too bad. a few obscenities that are blushworthy for you, Caleb. And you realize that some of the speech sounds a bit familiar to the voices you heard from that gentleman who was in the saloon.
It was them. It was the ones in the saloon who kept spewing all those vulgarities. They must be demons in disguise, I'm telling you.
Well, they said they were there.
They didn't say they were monsters.
But how do we find your brother? That's what we would need to try to do. How does this connect to your brother going missing? And well, so there were two of them, right? And then
Who's the third one?
There was
The
a
third
third
one's
one.
the one who's missing.
So is there anything special about him that might help us find him?
Your first
looking,
impression, when she asked you that. Sorry, I'm trying to jump in with a response before you go on. The first thing you get when she says, what about the third one? What about him? You get the feeling it wasn't a him. You got more of a her type of feeling from that one.
Well, I'm not so sure it was a man. This Amethyst. In fact, I got a strong feeling somehow that it was quite the opposite.
Well, all the people poking you right now have boobs, so I don't know if that's going to help at all. But just try to focus on that, maybe.
Do you want me to lower my shutdown? Will that help?
Are you asking me to focus on your assets, Miss Amethyst?
Say the word.
Our nice tits, as they said.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry. I know that
right.
makes you uncomfortable. I'm sorry, Mr. Caleb.
No, I understand you're trying to help.
Does it help at all?
Well, wait a minute. So if they can look like us, then I knew Isaiah was seeing some girl, but I never expected. But where could they have wandered off to?
Give me another wits and composure check real quick, please.
All right. Wits and composure.
I mean, I reckon they could have gone to the caves.
As you think about this, you think more about the phrases, and you realize at one point they did speak to you in a way you understood. They were conversing with you a bit, asking you some things about the ranch. And then you get a fleeting memory of some phrases that were stated, but you don't know if they were stated to you when they were speaking English or when they were speaking that alien thing. They mentioned something about their gigantic balls and something about just pounding us with them.
What? Some of the vulgar things they said, I don't even understand, nor do I care to. Something about
What
I
did
don't
they
even
say?
I don't even know how I could understand any of it. But and I don't know if they said it in English or their demon speech, but it was something about well, it was something about pounding us all with gigantic balls.
I mean, are you sure that's what they said? Or was money
Listen,
involved?
there's no way I would invent such a sentence, Miss Morrow.
Oh, I'm
If I
sorry,
said
I
that's what they
forgot. You're better than me. Apologies. Was it in any sort of context?
We can just go ask them, can we? I mean, they're here, they're looking around as well. So I guess now that we've got this information, maybe we regroup and we tell them what we know and they tell us what they know and we can find them. And hopefully Mr. Marshall will be coming back into town at that point. I don't know.
As you're talking, you begin to hear a rustling in the cornfield. And you notice as some of the corn starts to kind of move, like something's moving your way, about to come out of the cornfield.
Oh, it might be the children. We should.
Nothing
What
better
was
come
was-
up out that cornfield.
Yeah,
if
the
it
last
does,
time
I'm
people.
going to be ready. He goes and reaches for his rifle.
Right? And with
People
that,
died the last.
oh, sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead.
People died the last time people came out of the cornfield. So, I don't want any of us to die.
I'm not losing anybody else.
Right? And I'm going to put you guys on hold for a minute. We're going to jump over to the marshal, who is just now arriving at the plateau, the top of the mesa. You are met by a couple of the braves. One of them puts his hand up. What are you doing here, Marshal?
Well, unfortunately, today I come bearing some bad news. U.S. Army's coming in. I don't think they're intending yet to do anything, but I'm waiting on a missive from Washington, and they're looking to take up residence in some of the fields here. I just wanted to give you all some warning because, well, I guess I don't really need to explain.
Thank you. We'll let Casa know about this.
I actually come up on another matter as well, if that's all right. I'd go with you to see Miss Casa.
And he just kind of stiffens a little bit and looks over his shoulder, and it may not be the best of times for that.
Oh,
One moment, and I'll check. And he turns and runs off towards one of the big buildings that you've seen from your previous trip here. It's like a round building, and there's a large hole in the center of it that goes down. You don't know where it goes. There's a ladder sticking out of it, but you know that it goes somewhere. And when he comes out, he's not running as fast, but he does make his way back over to you. Is it something that you can tell me and I will pass it on?
well, I guess it's fit for just about anybody, really. I was wondering if maybe you or one of the other braves, somebody that's skilled with tracking, could lend us a hand. One of ours has gone missing, and, well, we can't really figure where he might have gone to.
This really is not a good time,
Is there
Marshall.
something we could do to help you?
No, Marshall, no. I don't know that we're going to be rather occupied for the next 24 hours. It's a very sacred night. The moon is full this evening, and we have things to attend to.
Right. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt that.
I will happily ask Casa this, but unless you can be more compelling in your reasoning, I'm afraid it's just too. Why is this person so important?
Well, all right. Look, this is where it gets a little bit more sensitive, and I trust that you'll keep it just between myself and yourself and Casa, if that's all right.
And he looks to the guy standing next to him. He speaks English too.
Well, then between the four of us, we'll call it good. You know how there's stories about the end of times coming?
And he
Well,
kind of perks up with that.
There have been some strange visitors recently, spoken a way that I couldn't repeat even if I wanted to. And, well, they said that in just 72 hours, unless we find this person we're looking for, that, well, it's going to be the end of all of it.
Can you describe what this person looked like?
Well, kind of unhealthy, Pollard. I really don't know how to explain what they looked like. One of them had some, well, they called it a wardrobe malfunction, but it looked like an octopus in his pants. That's the only way I could explain it.
And he just looks at you. He looks at you totally straight faced. Would you say he was a pale white man with many arms?
Well, sure, I guess maybe you could call him like that, except it seemed kind of unhealthy, the color he were. Kind of grayish, more so than white.
He reaches back and takes out some leather that he has, and he goes, I'm going to have to cover your eyes, Marshall.
Sure, no trouble.
And he puts this around your eyes and ties it and does a few things to see if you can see, but you can't. He's done a pretty good job on it. This is to protect our secrets. You need to be able to speak and to be able to hear. But if you do not see, and he grabs your arm and says, come with me.
Right.
And I'm afraid I'm going to have to take your firearm from you, Marshall.
Well, I know you to be good people, so I'll trust you. Just Be easy with it now.
He takes it from you. And he walks you over. So you walk for quite a ways. You hear things going on in the village around. And he stops and places your hand on the side of one of the buildings and wait here a moment. And you can hear as he brushes the leather covering the doorway aside. And you catch a whiff of sage and some other things burning as he passes through. It's quiet for a few minutes, and then he steps back out, and you can smell as this something is passed around you. You smell the smoke, and it kind of goes up your nostrils. It's a little bit stifling, very strong sage odor. And he goes all the way around. You can feel the heat as he gets near your body with it, but he goes all the way around you a couple of times and kind of like covering you in the smoke. I'm going to bring you inside now. Asa wishes to speak with you.
Thank you.
Do not uncover your eyes.
Absolutely. I don't want to cause any trouble for you folks any more than we already have.
And you are brought in past two leather coverings in the doorway. And once you enter the room, it's like it almost dampens all noise from the outside, but even the slightest movement inside echoes and reverberates. He takes you over and sit here.
All right.
You hear Casa's voice. Marshal,
Miss Casa,
what is it you're looking for, Marshal?
we're looking for some help finding the companions, the companion, I should say, of some strange visitors. I don't know how much they told you, but a fella, pale skin and tentacles, where his bits ought to be, and also Caleb's brother. I think the two of them may be lost together somewhere. I also wanted to warn you about, military coming.
We do a lot to keep our beliefs and traditions among our people. And I have to ask you, Marshal, has someone spoken to you about our beliefs?
Well, I guess not really.
Did someone tell you to come and tell me this story?
I swear to you, it ain't no story. It's what I experienced. I would come up here and bother you otherwise.
You hear the sound of chains, like somebody struggling against them who's been chained up. Marshal, our people believe that we were brought into this world to try and make it a good world, but evil found its way into it. And when the shapes appeared in the cornfield, it was a prophecy to us, because it was a picture of our ascension, and it included the fifth world, the next world. This world's to be destroyed by the White Prophet, a white figure with many arms, who comes to destroy this world and the evil, and only the true and the good shall ascend into the next world.
Well, by the talk of the feller that I met, it didn't sound like they was looking to save nobody. They said all of it, 72 hours. But maybe I didn't understand. They talked in a way that, it's not right.
Well, with the army coming, it sounds like it may well be the end of the world.
That could be.
What is it you really want of us, Marshal?
I want help. I'd turn anywhere I could at this point, except for the army. I didn't ask for their help, but they were insistent about it. I just wanted to take care of my people as best I could and make sure folks was safe. We seen enough trouble over the last weeks. If I can't save Caleb's brother, then well, maybe I ain't fit to wear this badge no more.
Well, Marshal, that's all a concern for your people, and I trust you're a good man. You've been good to us. But we're not going to fight this war that's coming. You understand that we accept the destruction and we look for this end of the world. We look for the prophet who is named destruction and who is named for the end of all things.
Well, then your prophet is looking for someone in particular. And if, like you said, they're supposed to take the good folks with them, I figure that's a good way to get in their graces, isn't it? Rescue the person they're searching for. Aside from that, of course, they're really missing and they really are in trouble. Well, shouldn't we ought to help them? Isn't that what good folks do?
You hear the struggle against the chains again, and this time you hear almost a growling noise with it.
Miss Casa, I don't want to take up your time. I know your folks was having a real important evening tonight. I guess I don't really know where else to turn. The folks have helped us in bad times before, and I was hoping maybe you would again.
I'll consider what you're asking, but it cannot be today.
That's understandable.
And this is a heavy thought for me, as it would be going against all our traditions to help you in something that would stop what we've been longing for longer than your people have walked on this land.
And I know it ain't exactly my place to ask that. I don't mean to put you hard up against it. All I mean to say is there's a lot of good folk down in that valley. I don't know that your folks would see it that way all the time. I'm sure they do sometimes when we behave ourselves properly. But at the same time, I got to do something. You got to understand. If I don't try my hardest for them, then there really isn't much left for me here, then, is it? And I guess, though, that might not be the biggest problem. There may not be a whole lot left for anybody if we don't.
There will be nothing. I'm afraid
what
that
they-
you and this world will be destroyed, and my people will move on and make a better place.
Look, I don't mean to question what you know and what's been handed down to you, but are you sure that your people are going to be all right? They didn't seem to make any distinction about anybody going with them. They just said that everything was going to go away.
Well, they would tell you that, wouldn't they?
I suppose that's right.
Your holy book talks about the end of all things, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Says that
And
some
doesn't-
folks,
Go ahead.
it says that some folks will be taken away in the rapture, and other ones will be left behind to deal with what's left. So I guess maybe it isn't so different from what you've been told, what you know. I guess I'm just not the kind to wait for it to come.
Well, you struggle as you must, Marshall, and I will wish you well for yourself, for your people. But the sun's going to be going down soon. We have things to prepare for.
Well, if you do see fit to send somebody, we'll be there. At least we ain't planned on going nowhere. And we wish all the best to you and your folks. And if there's ever anything we can do, just, well, ask.
You
I'll try to
feel
keep the army off you.
you feel a hand on your shoulder. I don't fear the army, Marshal. Not now. If you happen to run into any wolves tonight, give them way. And I would take it as a personal favor if you didn't attempt to harm them.
Well, I'll do the best I can. I'll give them plenty of room and won't fight back unless they make me.
And with that, the room goes quiet for a moment. And then the gentleman who brought you in walks over and places a hand on your shoulder. Let us go, Marshal.
Lead the way.
And he takes you outside. The leather's removed from your eyes, and the sun, while it's going down, hits your eyes with the brightness. And as the vision slowly comes back and you're being guided across the village, give me a wits and composure roll. Let's see what you can see.
That's two.
All right. You've seen some of their stuff before. You saw them dressed as Kachina the last time you were up here. But you're seeing the outfits you're seeing tonight, they're not the same as the gods you've seen before. They are more animalistic. They remind you a bit of wolves.
Must be what she meant by give way to the wolves.
And the guy looks at you and be safe, Marshal.
I'll do the best I can, and please stay safe yourself.
And
Thank you.
He points over towards the cornfield, and off to the far edge of it, you see something large and black and fairly round. It's pretty good size. And for just a moment, you're not sure it's even touching the ground.
In the world. What is that?
It appeared earlier this morning.
How long was it there?
Most of the day. We'd normally go check something out and see what it is, but we've been busy.
Right, preparing. Well, I guess I better get out there and take a look myself. I don't mean to run, but there's been enough strangeness in town lately, and the last thing that came out of that field took out half the folks.
We heard it up here. We saw a lot of blood.
Lost a lot of good people.
He puts his hand on your He puts his hand on your shoulder, and the end of the world would be violent and rough.
And so they keep telling me.
I hope you die easy. He pats you on the shoulder.
Well, let's hope I don't die at all. Be safe, my friend.
And they hand you back your firearm.
I'll climb back up on Old Blue. We're heading down pretty fast.
All right. All right. Back to the cornfield. And the people standing around. Somebody's got a rifle handy now, I do believe. And you hear the rustling get louder. And then you see the corn part away. And you see somebody on horseback come riding out of the corn. Somewhat headed your way at a bit of a meandering pace. Let's see if I can get it to actually flip over here. Let's do that again. There we go. Technology. But if I only knew somebody who was an IT guy who could come in and work with these computers. Would you like to describe, as you approach them, what you look like?
So, upon a white horse, beautiful horse, is a young adult woman who almost looks like the stereotypical perfect woman. She's very, curvaceous. She's long blonde hair, very youthful, but very but also mature, with a very beautiful face. Wearing a corset that kind of pushes up the bust. Very fair skinned, with almost like a kind of grayish kind of tint to it. And her hair, blonde, but when the light hits, it almost has a sheen of, it almost looks kind of iridescent when the light hits it. It becomes all these kind of different colors. The horse's mane is kind of similar as well. And its skin also does have a sort of grayish tint to it too. And she comes riding towards you. Seeing the gun will kind of steady the horse. arms up, still on the horse's back.
Caleb will lower his rifle when he sees the woman.
That's not one of them children things.
No, I'm not a child at all.
Who are you?
My name's Armageddon, but my friends call me Silk, and this is my horse, Fluffy.
Fluffy.
That's a lot to take in.
That's what I said last night. That's fun.
Well, I already think I like you.
Oh, that's really kind. Thank you. I was just riding through, and you don't often see many people gathered around. Is everything all right? There's a gun. Are you in trouble?
I've never seen you around Hawk's Rest before. Where do you come from?
Oh, I'm not from round here at all.
That's what I was saying. I was wondering where you came from.
Are you missing? Are you supposed to be with like 2 other people? Do you know who Isaiah is?
Yes and yes. First one, don't tell them that I'm here, please. They still think I'm back. And yeah, Isaiah, do you know him?
Isaiah's my brother.
Oh, it's lovely to meet you. And she
Do you know
extends her
where he
hand.
is?
I know where he was. I don't know where he is right now, but I know where he was.
Well, where was he?
Oh, me and him were out in the cornfields together, actually.
In the cornfield? How long ago was this?
A few days. It was really magical.
What? You don't have any children by any chance, do you?
Well, I might do. Is that a problem?
No, just a question.
I don't look it, do I? I bounce back very fast.
Wait a minute. She's not the one we're looking for.
I mean, she sounds like she is.
She's
She saw Isaiah, right?
No, she doesn't. She said, "Nice to meet you." That person I was talking about was in the room when I was on that table. And the other 2 both recognized me.
Do you recognize him at all?
Do I recognize him at all, Storyteller, at all?
No, I'm afraid not.
I don't. I think I'd remember someone as big and handsome as you. And she dismounts her horse.
Well, I don't know about that, but we best investigate that cornfield. If Isaiah was there, might be able to answer some questions about this. She could be another one of them, but I don't think she's the one we're looking for.
Oh, and another one of what?
The strangers in town from a faraway place.
Oh, no, that is me.
Fascinated with Uranus.
Well, a lot of people are.
The planet.
Do you?
Is your horse a unicorn secretly? Does it have a horn sometimes, maybe?
I grab her and pull her to the side. I'm like, don't tell anyone, please.
I didn't know it was a secret. I just thought maybe it's such a pretty white horse, and someone said they might have seen a unicorn recently, and so I got really excited. I love unicorns. I think they're really cool.
Oh, Fluffy's wonderful. Lovely horse, but not a unicorn.
Okay, nice to know. And I'll back away, and I'll be staring at the horse the entire rest of the time.
Well, by any chance, if you walked around in a diving suit?
Diving suit?
Yeah, I don't really understand it myself. It's heavy clothing. You wear something on your head that covers it completely for going underwater.
I mean, I have done in the past.
You have.
Yes, I mean, sometimes I dress up as certain things. It's fun.
Do you want a job?
Oh, that sounds really good, actually. What's the job?
Well, you would work with myself and Lady Amethyst here.
Oh, that sounds
Oh.
like fun.
I own the saloon.
Saloon. Ah, the place with the drinks.
Yes. Yes. The drinks and the surly men and our nice horses, and there's baths and there's rooms to stay in, and we help the men feel comfortable.
This sounds exactly what I'd want to do.
Silk, I need a wits and composure check from you, please.
All right,
And
will do.
remember, you are going to have to subtract 4 die from the pool.
That's a luck die then for me.
Oh no.
That's a 2 on the die, so no successes there.
Okay. You're so invested in the conversation that's going on, and everyone else is paying attention to you. You don't notice that Bonnie has moved around to the side of you, slightly behind you, and you suddenly feel a cold, burning sensation on your wrist as she clamps like an iron handcuff around your arm.
Oh, no, you don't need to do that. I'll behave. You don't need to do that.
She reaches over to put it on the other arm. Are you going to...
I said I would work with them.
I'm going to need a dexterity or a strength and brawl.
Oh goodness, I'll go with. Can I use my? Can I use my dexterity? But can I also add my athletics with my acrobatics in there, maybe?
Yeah.
Or do I still need to minus some dice?
Not for this.
Did the extra ones explode on these too?
Yes.
Okay.
10s and above. Well, 10s, not above. Obviously, if it's above 10, it couldn't be on a D10. But unless you've got some of those Chael style D10s.
So not the 8s and the 9s, right?
I'm sorry, it's just 10s. Yeah.
Just the 10s. Okay.
For this part, it's just 10s. Yeah.
Hey, sweetheart. That is 4 successes.
All right, you are able to pull away from her while she still has a hand on the chain for the one that is attached to your arm, and it is uncomfortable on your wrist. Now you listen here. I know what kind of weird you are. And she kind of pulls her vest over, and underneath you see a badge. And on that badge it says Pinkerton.
Am I able to grab the gun?
You want to try and grab her gun? Is that what you're saying? Or
doesn't Caleb have a gun?
If you want to go for it, I would say go for it. That's going to be a dexterity and...
Tell you what, instead I'll try persuasion. I'll look to Caleb. And
okay.
With the saddest eyes. Like, please help me, please, I beg you. I'll tell you everything about Isaiah, I promise.
Let's have a presence and persuasion roll, please. And Caleb, I need a wits and composure from you.
Damn. That's 7 successes.
And remember, this is the one that 8s and 9s explode.
Oh,
also
damn.
for
That
the-
would probably be much more then. I forgot, but I've already moved them away.
And out of
That-
6 dice, I got 1 success.
I think she's pretty much got you pegged.
Now, Miss Bonnie, I'm going to need you to release her.
You don't know what you're talking about, Mr. McCarthy.
I know
I've got
exactly
to
what
warn
I'm
you.
talking.
Can you think with the upstairs for a moment, please?
Now, listen, I don't appreciate the implications of that statement. What I'm saying is she's the only lead we've got about Isaiah. And that has to take precedence right now. I understand you got some kind of business with this woman, but surely that can wait till this crisis is averted.
It's no problem, and she's not going anywhere. I'm just putting these cuffs on her for our own safety.
Our own
You remember
safety.
the exploding children, do you not?
So what, you think this woman's going to explode? Look at her. She's helpless.
And she looks at her, and if you only saw what she really looks like.
Well, I did just give her a job, so if you could not hurt her or scare her off, that'd be wonderful.
I'm a good worker, I promise.
And that'll be just fine. And let me have your other hand, please.
No.
Well, now hold on. What if we wrap her wrists with something so it doesn't hurt her first? You absolutely insist on cuffing her.
Miss Silk, is it not true that you are a runaway?
Yes, but that's why I need to be free.
Because you want to run away again, right?
No, I want to stay here.
You want to stay here. What is it you want to do here?
I would like to work with these two ladies.
Do you understand what these two ladies do for work?
She'll be a waitress.
Oh, that's a little disappointing, but I'll do it.
Oh, if you'd rather work the upstairs, you're welcome to do that as well.
Now, hold on.
If she wants the job, it pays well.
You get paid for it?
Yes, darling. That's why we work.
That's the whole reason I do it.
I have
Not
to
the whole
echo.
reason, but a good chunk of the reason.
I have to echo Miss Skills' question. You do know what they do upstairs in that establishment, don't you?
They said they make men feel better.
Do you know
Well,
how they make them feel better?
It's a bit of a
Caleb,
a
I'm
sexual
surprised, Mr.
thing.
McCarty.
Oh no, yeah, I do that for free.
Well, you can get paid for it. And if you are like an alien or something, then maybe you don't. Maybe what you think of is a little different from what we think of. But to be honest, we get some weird kind of guys in there. So I don't know. Maybe it'll be fine.
Sweetheart, you don't know Wyrd. You're talking to Wyrd.
Oh, well, yes. And it's kind of cool actually. I've always kind of believed in weird, interesting stuff. Being out in the desert and everything, you see all kinds of weird things, and to talk to one, I think it'd be fun to work with you. But yes, we'd show you what that work means and looks like, of course. Caleb, I'm not trying to just. We don't want to sell her, and she doesn't want to be in.
If I
No,
could
I
have,
understand it.
if I could just have a minute to talk with you, and And if you guys decide that I should be locked up, then fine. But can I talk with you first, please?
You know, Miss, you got a real funny way of talking. Where exactly are you from?
It's been a long time now. And it's England.
I'm sorry, England. Well, I suppose you did come a long way. Not as far as
It's been a long time since I've been there. Just please, if I could just talk with you away from this woman, and if
You aren't going anywhere away from me, honey. I can tell you that now.
Feels. She ain't going anywhere.
Silk mouths to Caleb, like, she's going to kill me.
And you are still under her persuasion. So,
Miss Skills, I must insist.
young man, and she pulls out her pistol and points it at you. Are you sure you want to get in this argument with me?
I would rather keep things peaceable, but if anyone points a firearm at me, I consider it a personal threat. He will take his rifle and aim it at her too.
Let me clarify for you. This is not a threat. It is a guarantee.
What makes this fine foreign presence any different from the two that we saw in the saloon? I mean, wouldn't you have put them in custody as well? I don't know why she's being treated differently.
They are not my problem. She is my kind of weird.
I have no idea what that means, but if you intend to kill this woman, I'm not going to stand by and let that happen.
I am not paid to kill her. I am paid to take her back.
Take her back where?
Where she ran away from.
This is the West. This is where people go to get away. All the runaways come out here. Why is she any different?
She belongs in the spring court. Isn't that right, little lady?
Help me, please.
Can I use my table turner?
In just a moment, I think Caleb was saying something too.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Miss Skills, I'm afraid that our goals have ceased to align. And at this point, I'm afraid things are only going to get more tense until one of us backs down or something real ugly happens.
All right. Minnie, what would you like to do?
I want to use, I just realized we're like 5 games in and I haven't even used it yet. I want to use my table turner.
All right. Tell us what you're going to do. Explain to us the process here.
Okay, your character can turn any attempt to leverage her into an opportunity. So I want to. What would Minnie do? Minnie wants the exotic woman to come work at her bar because she will make lots of money. So.
And I'll do it for free as well.
I got a free freaking worker.
You don't have to pay me.
Wait till you find out what you got to pay her in.
I don't think Minnie would care at this point. Lots of money. Okay. So I initiate the social maneuvering action. So I want to socially maneuver her into giving me silk.
Okay. You're trying to persuade her into this. And I will let you know she's pretty resistant to these things. She's trained, she's a professional. So it's going to take along with your die rolls, it's going to take some reasoning, some negotiating by your character as to how you're trying to manipulate this. But let's go with manipulation and persuasion. Okay. And this will be
I like that because I have lots of dice for those two.
I'm figuring out what you got to go up against. Give me a second. I'm doing math, and that always takes me a little while. All right.
And I also,
what? I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna use a willpower for this.
Okay. How many dots do you have in manipulation and persuasion?
3 each.
All right, so a total of 6. You get 6 tries to meet the social maneuver and convince Bonnie to give up Silk.
Okay. And then my willpower gives me how many? So I'm gonna roll all 6 of my die.
3 die for your willpower.
And then I get an additional 3. Yes. Then stage 5. Oh, 3 successes.
All right. Go ahead and make a bit of your argument. Let's see how you did here.
She's outnumbered. We have control of her. Where is she going to go?
Well,
it's not like she's going to run away from us. She wants to be here.
She's already duped your friend here into thinking he stands a chance against me and that he should resist and try to break her free. And what's she going to do once she's free? She's going to run away because she's got 2 friends somewhere around here. And
at the saloon.
Silk, where are the boys?
I'm not telling you where my boys are, but I'm not running to them.
She obviously wants to work for us, so she's not going to go anywhere. And
That's
I always
right.
take good care of my girls.
That's right, because she's going to stay right here with me. Go ahead and roll again. So apparently you're not doing so great at convincing her yet.
You witch. Okay.
A part of me wants to try something, but I don't know whether to.
So it's 8 and above, not 8 and above.
Yep, 8 and above.
So that brings it up to 3.
So a total of 6 so far? All right.
Yes.
Miss Morrow, you have no idea what you're trying to get into here. I am protecting you from yourself. And
I don't need
she kind of jerks on the chain a little bit. Now, Miss Silk or Miss Gedden or whatever name you're going under, you will put your other hand up here or I will break your arm to get this cuff on you. Is that clear?
I don't think that's necessary. Can I burn another willpower?
Always.
Can I aim at her?
You already are.
6.
And she's aiming at you.
Miss,
All right.
Can I burn 2 willpowers and get 6?
Nope. Nope. Only burn 1.
Miss, can I please know your name at least?
Bonnie Reed.
I have something I would like to do once they've rolled their dice.
Okay.
That's 5.
5 successes? All right.
Yeah, that's 5. 4. No, that's 5 because that's a 9. I can't read my dice upside down.
All right. Now, Mr. Caleb, if you will put your gun down, I will not have to shoot you between the eyes. Miss Morrow, I am not turning this young lady over to you. And she looks over at Lady Amethyst. And thank you for keeping yourself out of the middle of this. I'd hate to have to shoot you too.
You are making a lot of threats.
No, promises.
Cute.
I loudly say her name and spit on the ground. And I'm gonna do my Prince of Ivy ability.
All right.
Let's see. I'm gonna try. So it's presence, expression.
Since she's doing this, you go ahead and get your die pool together. The rest of you, let's roll an initiative, please.
Oh shit. Hey, took a boy.
So that's roll a d10 and add your initiative value to the
This what I was about
total
to
on that
ask.
d10. I figured.
My initiative. That's an 8.
You rolled an 8, or that's an 8 total?
8 total.
Okay. Amethyst is a 9.
So, and my modifier includes that my weapon would factor in that, right?
Initiative, normally for something like a rifle, you actually get a subtraction to your initiative.
Yeah, I get a subtract. So I factor in my bonus and then subtract my penalty for the rifle.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yep.
So that's dexterity, exposure. Okay, so it evens out. My bonus and my penalty are exactly the same, so that's just what I rolled. It's a 7.
All right. Well, okay, you rolled a 7. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yep.
And Silk, I know you're rolling, but I need an initiative from you too when you get a chance.
Okay. Initiative is a roll plus my speed, right?
You should have a thing marked on your character sheet that says initiative.
5.
Yeah.
5. I did send you a question in the Zoom chat as well.
How long ago? Because I don't see.
Oh, like literally 2 seconds.
I don't see it in the Zoom chat. So you sent it to the right person? Did you send it to the Storyteller, or did you send it to
I sent it to Tam. Oh, I sent it to the wrong you.
Yes, it's got to go to the right me. Everybody who's watching is like, what the hell is she talking about? I have a dummy camera set up, so
It should go through now.
That wouldn't apply to this. There are certain roles that will be listed that have your mantle in it.
It does state its presence, expression plus that.
Oh yeah, if the role for that is mantle, yes. Initiative, it's not. Sorry, that's what I was.
Oh no, I just don't know what I just don't know what my mantle is.
It should be on the second page of your character sheet, top right hand side. I believe you'll see something that says mantle. It's either.
Oh right, yeah. My bad. Okay, cool.
I know my character sheets.
And that's like instant successes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is your initiative though?
5.
5. Okay, sorry. I heard you say what it. Did you roll the die and add it to it, or is that just?
Oh no, sorry, that was just the base. That's 15 because that's a 10.
So you might want to roll the die for that. You know, it's helpful. Okay, good. All right, roll for your. Is that one? I believe that one is contested, is it not?
Trying to see now. Don't think it is actually.
Actually, I think you may be right.
Oh yeah. Contested on our reflect. Doesn't tell me what they use though.
Yeah, I know what to use for it. So
okay, my bad.
No problem.
Yes, it's contested. I'm sorry, guys. I'm new to this.
It's okay. We're all friends here at this table, and nobody knows how to do anything, so it works out great.
I'm lost.
All right. So, how did your roll go? What did you get?
I got 3 successes. Not
3
great.
successes. All right. You are successful. Explain what happens.
Okay. So as she yells her name and spits on the ground, vines begin to shoot out of the ground where I spat, and begin to grow at an impossible rate, ensnaring the person of the name I spoke. And basically, they are now grappled.
So basically, weeds grow out of the ground and grab Bonnie. Are you sure you want to go this route, young lady?
I don't have any other choice.
All right. Well, we will start at the top of the initiative order, which is going to be Bonnie at this point.
Dang it.
And Bonnie speaks 3 words that are unfamiliar to you. And they kind of make your ears burn a little bit, Silk, when they're said. Kind of like somebody had, boxed you on the ears a little bit there. And she's going to step and yank on the chain a little bit when she does it and just step out of the weeds.
That's annoying.
You think if I'm going to be working for the Spring Court, I wouldn't be expecting you to pull stunts like that, young lady? Now, I know you can do it again, but I'm letting you know, and one more time, I'll pull this trigger and I'll shoot that young man right between the eyes. And I won't worry about it a bit. I will take you back, chain you to a post, sit down and drink my coffee and not think another thing of it. And it is now your turn in the initiative order, Silk.
Her like face of like damsel in distress just turns to like anger very quickly. I am going to see. I don't know if this would work, so please tell me if this is not how it works. But could I potentially use my defensive dreamscaping to escape these binds?
That might be a little tough.
Through like slipping through them.
You know what? I think it's a good idea. The only thing is they are made out of cold iron. So that's going to give you a bit of difficulty with that. So, So you're going to be able to add half your weird value to it. And let's go with, this is kind of a dexterity, and on the one hand, I got a thought of what it should be, but I'm trying to, do you have anything in larceny or stealth? Larceny or stealth?
I have in stealth, and I have slipping away in stealth.
So you'll get an extra die with that.
Mm-hmm.
So
stealth and dexterity.
Stealth, dexterity, you get an extra die for your skill in that. But because you are in cold iron, I'm going to take 3 away from your die pool.
All right. And my weird is found on which page?
First page. It'll be half of it, which I believe is a 1 for you.
Yeah. Okay. Do I get to, do the 8s and 9s double?
Yep. Oh, no, pardon me. Not for this. That's not a manipulation. Nope. So just 10s.
That's 3 successes.
All right. I'm going to say that is a good enough success that explain to me what happens, because I know the other people can see. So what happens to this manacle that's on your arm?
So as she just turns to from being afraid to angry, you just see her almost kind of phase through the thing as if she was able to slip out, but it's not possible. Like it's weird. She just manages to get out of it somehow, and it doesn't really make any sense at all. But just 1 second she's in, the next minute she just is able to pull it out somehow and just steps away.
All right. Minnie, you're up.
I want to shoot her in the face. How do I do that?
Well, since you didn't have your gun drawn, and I don't know where it is about your body, you had been keeping it in your purse thing, I thought, but you tell me.
I guess it's in her purse.
Okay. Well, then it's not like drawing it from a holster, so you're gonna have to get it out of your purse. That'll be your action for this time.
Okay. Yeah.
Amethyst.
I would like to.
I had that backwards. You should have gone before her. I'm sorry. I cannot do math. I cannot.
Not a worry. I would like to lasso Bonnie.
All right.
I will lasso her.
All right.
No, I'm not gonna lasso her because I think that'll just make her angry. I'm gonna try to lasso the gun out of her hand.
Oh yeah, that won't make her mad at all.
No. So I'm gonna lasso. I don't want to necessarily tie her up. I just want to get the gun away from her because she threatened Caleb.
Okay. All right. Probably a good idea.
Ooh, can I? Sorry, I'm changing my mind one more time. Can I lasso Bonnie and Silk together? Like tie them up together?
Oh wow, that's an interesting idea.
They're the problems. They're the problems right now. They're the conflict.
I told you about my unicorn.
Yes, I know, and I appreciate that very much, but I don't want you to die.
Hey,
and so
a unicorn is just a horny horse. I mean, let's be honest.
Yep. There you go.
I'm trying to look it up and see how
That's
are we
fine.
going to do this for lassoing them together. That's an interesting.
I know we had rope handling as a special skill specifically under athletics, or whatever that's called. Not as it's like in game terms. When you have special.
Now let's see. Silk, send me your defense in Zoom chat, please. It should be right next to your initiative. Because you're going against 2 targets, I'm trying to figure out how to balance this out a little bit. So, okay. Wow. Okay. Silk just got out. Bonnie's got a gun on somebody. Plus she's got these manacles in her hand. I'm going to give her that she's a little bit distracted. So the roll for lasso is dexterity plus athletics plus your rope handling skill on top of that, minus the defense. Okay. So since you're going against 2 targets, so I want you to make sure that's what you want to do, because I'm going to have to add their defense together. Now I'm going to penalize Bonnie a bit, but
that's fine.
That's still going to remove dice from your die pool. So do you want to try that?
I'll try it. That's what I want to do. So I'll go for it.
I have no idea what your die pool is. The defense is 8 for the 2 of them.
Okay. And so it's athletics and what else? Dexterity?
Athletics and dexterity, and plus 1 die for your rope handling, I believe.
Okay.
It's a skill.
And their defense is 8, so I would have to get higher than an 8.
No, you have to remove 8 die from your die pool.
Great. So that would bring me to 0.
Oh, okay. Well, if you want to roll for luck. And this is why I was saying it's kind of rough going against 2 people. So you could also throw a willpower in there, which would add 3 die.
Ooh.
And then you wouldn't have to do a luck die. You just have 3 die. Good call, Caleb.
I'll do that. I'll use a willpower.
All right. Awesome.
And 1 success.
But that's enough. So
I'll even do like a little like, oh please, yeehaw, and just kind of go for it.
Tell me how this happens. They were fairly close to each other. You get the lasso around both of them, pull it tight. So you're basically just like pushing the 2 of them together.
Yeah, no, I just kind of want to not hog tie them, but almost like you see in the movies where they're like on the same, like they're back to back in a chair or something and they're tied together. I know that Bonnie wants Silk to be captive in some way. I know that Bonnie has threatened Caleb, and I just think that they're both the problems in the equation of everybody here, and so I'm gonna tie them together. So I kind of like have that moment where, and you even see Lady Amethyst process, and she's like, she looks at the gun, she looks at Silk, she looks at Bonnie, she looks over at Caleb, and then she just, please don't get angry with me. I'm just trying to help. And I'll quickly lasso. And then once I feel that the lasso gets onto one of them, I'd probably go for whichever one's closest to me. Or it'd probably be Bonnie initially. I'd lasso Bonnie and then I'd immediately pull the rope taut and run a circle around them until they're shrunk together.
You do this and you pull the rope taut and it pulls Silk directly into Bonnie and pulls her hand in like this. And the 2 of them end up face to face.
Yeah.
I mean, just barely an inch from each other. And you get them tied together. Caleb, as you're observing. Sorry, go ahead.
Can we please stop threatening each other? Everybody who wanted to be captive is now captive, and the people who are threatening with guns are captive. So I think we can all just put our guns down and relax now, please.
Is Bonnie still holding her gun?
She's still holding her gun, but it's not pointing at you anymore as it's pinned like this.
Right. In that case, I am going to lower my gun, but I'm going to run up and try and take her gun from her.
All right.
Please don't keep me.
And she looks into your eyes, and you give me a wits and composure.
Oh no. Just wanted to work in a tavern. No successes. I rolled 2 2s and 2 5s.
And she just looks at you and were you always this stupid?
Depends if I've had a drink.
She will not even resist you taking the pistol, Caleb.
Well, I'm very glad we didn't end up having to shoot at each other.
Minnie, I think this woman needs a drink.
All right. Let's head on back, I suppose. I'll pour us a round of drinks.
For what it's worth,
you're paying.
I don't see why that's fair.
I see it as plenty fair. I tried to save you and I got my hair messed up.
Well, Miss Skills, for what it's worth, I know you were going for between my eyes, but I only ever intended to shoot you in the gun arm.
She looks at Silk for a moment and looks down and goes, mouths, turns and looks at Caleb, and if you're ever going to shoot anybody, you shoot to kill.
She's got a point.
Don't care.
Don't
I do
no
things
good.
how I do.
So about this time, the marshal comes riding up, sees the two of Bonnie and this young light-haired woman tied together with Lady Amethyst holding the end of the rope.
Well, Miss Amethyst, seems like you've been getting busy again.
I do my best to protect the peace, Mr. Marshall. There's a unicorn here.
Right. Let's deal with one thing at a time here. What's happened with Miss Skills, and who is this young lady?
Please, sir, please let me go.
She's my new employee.
It's complicated.
The moment they undo this, she's going to hurt me. Please.
All right.
She's a prisoner, Marshal.
Looks like you are too. I want to get to the bottom of this first, but all right. Hold on. Something was coming out of the field, something big, and looked like it was floating. Anybody see that?
No.
No?
Oh, sir.
Right. Well, I want to deal with this, and I want to understand, but it seems you folks have a much better grasp of it than I do at the moment, especially you, Lady Amethyst.
Just for the
Ma'am,
record, I am not grasping anything right now.
that's fantastic, more than I needed to know. But, ma'am, we'll find out what's happening between you and Miss Skills. Don't you worry about that. I'm sure she don't want you dead or nothing like that. If she did, you'd already been dead. This is going to be a long night of explaining, isn't it?
Look, just please, I won't run. Just let me walk, please.
Looks like you're standing plenty fine at the moment. You can walk with Miss Skills as far as I'm concerned. You're tied up for some reason. I don't know what it is. Well, I guess one of you's coming forward and one of you's coming back. Not my problem to worry about. Caleb, I hate to tear you away at a moment like this, but I'd really like to take a look in that cornfield and see if I can find this thing that looks like it's flying. You had an encounter with something in the air or whatnot, and Emilio's talking about stars moving and aces and diamonds and whatnot, so I think that needs to... Oh, before I get any further, please, nobody go anywhere near any wolves tonight. If you see them coming, leave them be.
Wolves?
It's a long explanation. Just trust me on this. On account of the Hopi, let's just leave them alone. Give them a wide berth.
We don't got exploding wolves now, do we?
You know, I didn't ask that question, as it turns out, Caleb. But we'll just take it from the account of them that we're to leave them be. If
You
that's
guys,
all right.
All right.
Did you say you have explosives?
Ma'am, we'll answer your questions soon enough. Where the hell did she come from?
England, apparently.
The cornfield. Well, she came out of the cornfield on the horse, and then she said she was from England. But Miss Bonnie Skills over here said she was from the Spring Court.
Spring Court. Well, in England, they got courts and whatnot. Maybe she's from. Look,
she is a criminal runaway, Marshal.
Yes.
And she is associated with the two cowboys that I'm hunting.
Please don't hunt them, please.
All right. Why don't we just move this little party back to the saloon? But Caleb, I really, really do want to take a look at this field. If she came out of it and there's something flying in it.
I do as much as you do, Marshall. I mean, she said that was the last place she saw Isaiah.
Well, now there's a lead. I asked if any of the Braves would lend us a hand. It seems they're a bit busy. Maybe they'll send somebody down tomorrow. I don't know. In the meantime, you got tied up one of the people that was most interested in helping. But we'll resolve all of that in town. I'm sure you got a good reason for all of this. And I'm sure nobody's going to have to spend the night in jail. Hopefully. Hopefully.
Well, we can ride back into town while you guys check out the field, and then we can meet back up. I mean, I'm worried about Emilio. He hasn't met back up with us, and I just hope Violetta's okay.
I hope he found her.
Oh,
Bonnie
right.
is going to look at Silk and go, now you tell me the truth. Are they going to run into the boys out there in that field? You don't want anybody to get killed out here today.
They wouldn't hurt my boys.
But your boys might hurt them. Now, are they in the field? That the truth?
Do you like my cat?
Yes. I don't want to know where she came from. But you should put that thing away. It shouldn't be out here in public.
Nice pips.
Nice. Nice.
So, I mean, the way I kind of see it is we're tight, bound. How are we going to walk like this? Like,
Miss Amethyst, would you please untie us? I promise I will not attempt to cuff the villain again.
Well, I could just sling you guys over on top of the unicorn and then ride you back.
please
I
stop
vote for
telling.
that one.
Please stop telling people about the horse.
Oh, well, I don't know. I kind of was hoping it was a unicorn. Maybe it's just a horse.
Maybe one of these men could carry us.
Well, I
I
Well,
could
they
probably
wanna-
shoulder the weight.
Sorry, go ahead, Caleb.
Oh, Caleb stands up to his full height of about 6'6". Says, I could probably shoulder the weight.
Mr. McCarty, I don't think you could carry both of them, darling. Why don't we
So-
I
just
think
put
you
them on the
underestimate
horse?
the lad.
I don't want to be carried, thank you.
He's picked
So-
up hay bales before. I mean, those are pretty heavy.
Silk
I think-
whispers to Bonnie, just think of the children he could make.
I think two ladies
Oh,
would be
Lord,
a
can
bit
you-
too much.
Did I need to tie your legs together instead of your wrists?
We can all walk. I don't really like talking about this, and I'll
Hold
cut them free.
on now.
On second thought, maybe I shouldn't pick anybody up.
I
No,
think
sir.
that might be advisable. But
We're gonna go to the saloon, and you guys can look at the field. I would like to leave Caleb alone, please.
Sorry. Miss Amethyst, if I could say so, you have a real talent for roping. You ever thought about cattle ranching?
No, not really. I've seen people do it, but I've just never really. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of a small little lady. I just didn't think that was really something I was capable of doing.
You seem mighty capable to me.
Oh, well, maybe I could try it sometime.
Can we
You ever need
handle
help?
this back at the tavern? Miss Armageddon, please, put your feet on top of my feet.
Feet on top of your
Just do it.
I'll do it. I'll put my feet
And
on
she
top of-
immediately starts walking.
That's so funny. I'll cut them because they started talking about Caleb, and I was like, nope, stop. So I'll slash the rope out.
All right.
I very quickly mount the horse, but I don't go off anywhere. I stay put with you guys. I'm just on the horse.
All right. So a couple of things before we go on break, which we're very late for, but we're going to do it anyway. So somebody's got to pay the rent on this coffee, and it's going to be me. Caleb, did you hand her pistol back to her?
She promised not to shackle Silk. Did she promise not to shoot me?
No, she hasn't.
I would ask her for that promise before I handed her pistol back.
And what's the duration of this agreement?
Until the next time I give you cause to shoot.
Fair enough.
He hands it back.
Okay. Roll me a wits and composure as you hand it back to her.
Okay. Let's see. Just one.
That's enough. You swear as you hand it back to her for an instant, that gun was made completely out of wood.
Gun feels a little light there.
It's good for me. She puts it in her holster, walks over to her horse and gets up on it.
Reckon I'll have to take your word on that.
Yeah.
I ride mine, but I stay very close to Marshall, like next to the Marshall, like riding the entire time.
Okay. Well, I think the marshal was headed into the cornfield.
Oh,
Is that
Yeah, we're
correct,
going back
Marshall?
for ladies' night.
Okay.
ladies' night. All right, I'll go with the ladies.
All right. So the ladies are going to head back to the tavern, and the marshal and Caleb are going to head into the cornfield. And we're going to head into a break. We'll be back in about 7 minutes. Is that good for everybody? 7? All right. We'll be back in 7 minutes. right, welcome back. The four ladies. Well, we know that three of them seem to be ladies. We're not sure what the fourth one is for sure, but gonna have to wonder. But the two gentlemen here, Caleb and the marshal, were going to head off into the cornfield, so we will pick up with them. Sun's going down. It's beginning to get dark. It is a night of a full moon, but the moon has not come up yet.
Sit up top of Blue and get the lantern off the back and lift it up high so we can see something.
All right.
Caleb, I don't really know exactly what's going on, but did you at least figure anything out about what happened?
Well, maybe so, Marshal. I did remember a few things, although I don't know how much help it is. Just, I remember some of those people. They don't look like us. They don't look like just human beings. Gray skin and dark eyes. I don't know if I could even tell where their mouth was. Three of them standing over me while I was lying on some kind of table. Got any clothes on, I suppose.
He admitted it.
Yeah.
He admitted it.
That's what they mentioned.
Yeah, but like I said, there were three of them, and the third one struck me as, I guess, female. That must be the missing one, I reckon.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Wasn't your brother seeing some lady?
That's exactly what I was putting together.
Well, I'll tell you what, Caleb. Let's just make a round around this field here, see if we see that craft. We ain't gonna pick up any trails tonight. And besides, we got a lot of things to discuss. What exactly happened between Miss Skills and all of you?
Well, Miss Skills has something special out for Miss Gedden, Irma Gedden.
Irma
Doesn't,
Gedden.
doesn't sound like a real name, does it now, Marshall?
No.
She said other people call her Silk.
Oh, well, stranger names out here anyway. But how exactly did this tango go down that you ended up with both of them lassoed together?
Well, Miss Gedden, or as strange as she is, and much trouble as she may be, was just about the only lead I've gotten so far as to Isaiah's last whereabouts. And I couldn't very well let Miss Skills make off there and kill her, which is what Silk assured me was going to happen. So Miss Skills didn't hesitate to draw her pistol and level it on me, and I felt the need to draw my rifle in kind.
Oh, well.
Things escalated from there, and then Miss Amethyst lassoed them together. It was pretty impressive.
Well, I'm getting to think that she has more going on than she lets on. That's all I got to say. But can't blame you for what you done. Sounds right to me. Only lead for your brother, and you ain't gonna let that go. And anybody point a gun at anybody, well, they had that coming. So
Glad you understand, Marshall.
I'm just glad you could help me understand before I go in there and make a fool of myself.
I've never known you to make a fool of yourself.
Give it time, boy. Give it time.
You seem like you've had quite a day.
Yeah, well, you could say that. I don't know what's going on in my town. I got no way to solve half the problems we've got. And look, this thing on my chest, I wear that with a lot of pride. And if I can't do right by the folks here, then I'm not doing right by that. I'm not staying true to what I promised. Used to be I'd ride on before I got too tied up in anything like this. But here we are.
Well, I, for one, am glad to have you
Well, that's worth a lot, Caleb. And for what it's worth, I'm glad you're here too. But it's getting dark, and I'm not seeing that thing, whatever it was.
here. You really think it's got something to do with those funny moving stars?
Look, all I know is it looked like it was flying above the field just at least a bit.
Above the
We
field.
seen all those circles in the field. Maybe it had something to do with them. So it's just as well if it's in the sky anyway. It may have something to do with what's up in the stars and all that, but I couldn't tell you. I wish I could.
You know, Marshall, it's crazy, but so many crazy things, I guess I have to consider it. If that was in the air, well, one of the last things I remember about disappearing is a vague sense of rising into the air. And then that scene on that table. I think could be I was inside one of those things, don't you think? I mean, I never heard a scene.
Sounds about as likely as anything. And with everything that's been happening, I'm not going to rule it out. You lifting up in the air, this thing flying over the fields, strange women appearing out of nowhere. I wonder if she had anything to do with those children.
I wonder that myself. You know, she was just about as fair as they were.
Yeah. Well, my figuring is this. We head back in. We ask her a few questions, see if she had anything to do with the Swede. And barring any information coming out of her being false, we'll check with the Swede come the morning, see if he can match the description. I don't know that I'd bring him around her, given everything that happened.
And as you say this, you break through the cornfield into one of the crop circle spaces. And you are immediately confronted by 10 soldiers in U.S. Army uniforms. And the front one looks up and says, "I don't think you're going to be going anywhere." And I'm going to put you guys on hold for just a moment, and we're going to switch back to the ladies. You guys are riding along on your way back to the tavern. Any discussion, anything going on? I just want to make sure before you get back. Bonnie's kind of taken up in the back so she can keep an eye on the three of you.
So you all you spend your time with men mostly, right? That's what your job is, isn't it?
So, kinda.
Is Caleb one of your clients?
Oh, no, not at all. He's well, he's a good and proper country man who has a family that he cares about, and he's taken on a lot of responsibility since his father died, and so he's not one for drink or for that kind of leisure time. he's very respectable in a way that this line of work isn't associated with.
And do you want to have his babies?
No, no, thank you.
Silk is like looking directly at Lady Amethyst.
No, I don't quite think so. No.
Oh, great. He's on the table then. That's perfect.
No, I didn't mean it like that. I mean, I don't think he's. I think he might be. I don't know, some kind of. I don't know if he's really interested in having any kind of relationship with anybody. I think he's just got a lot on his plate, and a lot of the people from this town are. I don't think good enough for him. Not that any of us are bad, but he's got a specific standard, and a lot of the women in this town work at the saloon, and I just I mean, he respects me, and I think he kind of respects Miss Morrow, even though she's really hard on him. But uh, I don't know. I'd rather you not try to go after him. I mean, he's under a lot of stress, and um, that's all. He's stressed, and you should leave him be because he's stressed. That's why.
Right. Sorry, I thought the job was to de-stress them.
Yes, but they have to consent to the de-stressing.
Right. Okay. Well, I will leave that one alone. What about the one with the golden shiny plating?
I'm not too sure about the marshal. We don't usually see him in there. I mean, he's got a rather important job protecting people. I don't think he really wants to take time away from that in by de-stressing, as we seem to come to refer to it. But maybe. I mean, he's a handsome fellow. Maybe so.
And that you mentioned another man, Emilio?
No, we didn't. There's no other men. That's it.
There's only one. There's only one man.
Spoken.
There's only one
in the whole town.
Well, there's there's a man who works at the general store.
Oh, there's that one.
We could introduce you to him, I think. He sells chocolates.
And y'all's got a one-handed doctor.
Yes,
we do.
You can have that one too, but not that one. He doesn't exist. That's nope, no Emilios. And there's also we have a cook. I forgot about him. He's a good one.
There's a few. It's just Mr. Caleb and Mr. Emilio are spoken for in some kind of way. Well, right. Caleb's not spoken for necessarily, but you know what I mean.
Right.
Emilio's never stressed, ever.
Right. So all of the other ones are okay?
Yes.
Sure.
Right?
Good.
Yes.
Good.
I'd say so. Well, how about maybe we, it's been a long night, maybe we could stop by the general store.
Oh, that would be great, actually. I could do with that.
Since you seem like you're from not here, maybe we get you some, is she wearing some kind of clothes? Do they look like they're from here?
They look. I sent an image in the Discord. They're kind of like it's like a corset with like a long skirt. It's not necessarily like not from the area, but it's. I wouldn't say you could buy it from a shop that's here, probably.
Ooh, yes. No, she looks very. Okay. Well. You need maybe a hat or some boots or a little feather, like Miss Minnie Morrow has.
A hat, boots, and a feather. Okay. All right. That would be fun.
Maybe that would be a good way to get you into the job and get you incorporated into the town, since maybe you can stay here if Miss Gill lets you.
That you won't be staying here. It wouldn't be safe for her anyway. You think I'm the only one hunting these runaways?
Well, that's why I shall go for the marshal, because his job is to protect people. That's what they said.
Well, Miss Skills, we've had a lot of people die here. I mean, this town's not particularly safe for anyone already.
And with that, which was a perfect statement, I'm going to put you guys on hold and go back to the Marshal and Caleb, who are now in front of 10 armed soldiers who are pointing weapons at them.
Oh, now, boys. I don't understand what you mean by we ain't gonna be leaving. What's the trouble?
Well, I heard you talking back there, and those sounded a little bit threatening words there. What are you two doing out here this late in the middle of the field?
He's just taking a look. Strange things been happening in the town. If I don't go riding, something else might happen. And you do me the kindness. I'm not quite sure what you heard us talking about. Maybe you misheard us.
Well, maybe I did, but I think we'll leave that up for the court to figure out, and you gentlemen will just disarm yourself and step down off of those horses, and we'll just handle this real peaceable like. Now, first off, neither one of you happens to be named Isaiah McCarty, are you? All right.
No.
Yeah, watch where you're putting that hand there, Marshal.
I'm just setting down the lantern. You don't want that bursting, spreading fire everywhere, do you?
No, it'd be a bad thing if this field would catch on fire. Well, gentlemen, this area is now under control of the U.S. Army.
Since when?
Since earlier today, when we were sent out here to search for this missing person, and we understand there was a request for protection, and we are therefore putting martial law so that we can ensure that nobody who is part of this city is in danger from the indigenous population.
Well, I want to see the missive from Washington. You were supposed to wait for it.
That's not my problem, sir. I'm just following orders.
Oh, yeah, well, I'll kick it up the chain of command when we're done here.
Well, that will be fine. You can do that from inside the cell. If you two gentlemen will now stick out your hands, we will place the irons on them.
Well, can we at least get some idea of what exactly are you putting us under arrest for here? You haven't mentioned at all what we were saying or what it is that you're concerned about us saying or doing. Seems to me you just want to put us up.
You are violating the curfew, and we have strict orders.
Curfew?
Anyone
What curfew?
That's outside of the curfew will be arrested and detained so that we can maintain the civil population and the safety of the citizens in this area.
Well, excuse me. I never got any word of a curfew, for one. For two, I'm the law in this area.
He steps forward, places his hand on his pistol, and undoes the retainer strap on it. And he's just about to draw it when you hear this screaming loud noise just coming from all around you. And you look up in the sky and you see these streaks of fire coming across the sky. Ladies, you see this from where you're at as well. And just as he draws the gun and begins to point it at you, this enormous, round, flaming object, it's got to be at least 20 feet in diameter, flattens him. Hits the ground so hard, the concussion knocks you and Caleb backwards and knocks your horse off their feet. So there's a loud explosion, lots of dust and everything goes up, and the cornfield catches on fire.
First thing Caleb's going to do is he's immediately going to try and make sure the horses are okay and get them back up on their feet.
All right. I'm going to switch to the ladies. Go ahead, Marshall.
Sorry, I was just going to say I'm right there trying to help him, but I want to make sure that he's safe as well.
All right. I'm going to switch back to the ladies. You hear this screaming, and ahead of you, towards the mountains, you see the same type of streak of fire. You hear the explosion behind you. And then you see as the one that was streaming in front of you hits, and you see just smoke and fire go up into the air as it hits the mountain off in the distance. And you realize that's the location of the old gold mine.
Miss Silk, do you know anything about this? Is this kind of your kind of thing from England, or?
Well, one, that's a waste of explosives. That is probably delicious. And two, people I care about are up there, but I shouldn't go there.
Is that where the boys are, Miss Eden?
No, just some men that I had spent time with. So.
Aren't they going to be okay? Do we need to do something?
They'll be fine. Let's just head back.
Should we
There
not
was-
go?
Do we still want to go to the general store?
Yes, the general store would be great. That would be really nice to go there. I would really enjoy that.
Okay.
Okay.
Everything's
Well,
fine.
If anyone's in trouble, they should have some kind of way to SOS or let us know. I mean, that's something that you learn very young, right? You learn how to be able to make SOS signals with fires for the sky, right? You guys were taught that.
With everything burning, I don't know that we'd be able to tell which signal was theirs and which one was from that.
Oh, I can spot an SOS really well. I know what it looks like. I've practiced. Or 3 shots in the air. I told Mr. Marshall, right? So if anything's wrong or he thinks we need help, he'll let us know. So let's go to the general store maybe still.
General store sounds perfect. I would really like that.
I'll get Violetta some candy or something. Oh dear.
Instead of having you roll for it, I'm just going to assume you guys notice Bonnie doesn't seem to be with the group anymore.
That's fine. That's okay, I guess.
At this point, I don't even care anymore.
You hear her yell out. It looks like the cornfield's on fire.
Oh, that was Bonnie. She's running and yelled that. Oh.
No, she's just stopped on her horse in the street, in the path.
Well, that's where Mr. Marshall and Caleb are.
That's kind of what I was thinking too.
And we don't know where Mr. Emilio is, so maybe
we need to go to the cornfield then. Darling,
Yeah.
you don't mind if we take a shortcut, do you? Not really a shortcut, it's more like a long cut, but you know.
Yeah, I know we just came back from there, but you've got boys that Miss Bonnie keeps referencing, and well, the people in those cornfield might be me and Miss Morrow's boys.
Mhm.
Oh, you shouldn't try and mate with your sons.
Oh, not like that. I'm not trying to mate with Mr. Caleb at all. Or Mr. Marshall for that matter. And nor are they my sons.
Look, I'm getting rather impatient. I would like to mate. So if you can promise that I'll get the marshal, then fine, we can go on the detour.
As long as he's willing, you can have him as much as you want.
That is not something we can promise on his behalf, Miss Silk. But I'll put in a good word for you.
Okay, fine.
They're probably dead already, you know.
All the more reason to get there. And so
I'm sure Emilio's fine. He's probably under some books or something.
I know you're worried about me escaping, but my horse is much faster than yours. If you want, I can go up ahead.
Can your horse hold 3 people?
And my horse will go.
Not at speed.
Not at full speed, no.
Give me one reason that I should be able to trust you. Tell me one thing that would make me believe a word you say.
I've been looking for men, and there's not many nearby, and I imagine most of them are at the town. So if you stay there, I'll be there at some point. So even if I was to run away, I would have to come back.
Not good enough. You obviously found other people. You've said you've got a couple of boys up at the mine. Tell me the truth now. Are they the cowboys that you escaped with?
No. I don't know where they are.
Roll me a manipulation and subterfuge, please.
Oh gosh. I don't have anything in subterfuge.
And I believe that is a minus.
Oh.
What? -2.
Sorry.
Right? No, it's -1.
There's a -1. I got one success. It was a 10, but I re-rolled and it didn't get anything. But like I got one success.
She leans in and says, "You're lying. But at least I know you're lying."
Do you want me to see if they're okay or not?
Fine, go on ahead.
And I will head off in the direction to where I knew the boys to be.
And her horse is fast. It leaves you guys in the dust.
Unicorn.
You what? Yeah, it's a unicorn.
I'll just be
Right.
staring at it like unicorn.
You guys really just don't understand what she is, do you? She's
then
going to
why
be
don't you
nothing
tell
but
us?
trouble. She's going to be nothing but trouble for you.
Then just tell us.
I don't think you're quite ready for it.
After everything we've seen so far and the sky shooting discs at us, at least try me.
Yeah, I don't think
Fudge.
she's worse than spiders with baby faces. That was pretty nasty.
Yeah, those may be related to her, in fact.
How so?
She had a job that was she was around just for one purpose only, and that's to make babies.
Because she's a woman? And who decided that job for her?
It's the man in charge.
Of course
Of course. Of course.
Well, no wonder she wanted to run away. She doesn't have to have babies if she doesn't want to.
Well, that's not how it works in the court, but
Well, why is she so dangerous? Just because she's making all these weird kids?
well, she's dangerous because of some of the things she can do. She's dangerous to you. She's not dangerous when she's back at the court.
You keep
I don't-
mentioning that. What is that?
It's a long story.
Well, I mean, she
Just-
seems rather nice. I mean, if we make sure that she doesn't make any weird babies and she only uses her powers for good, then I don't see what the problem is. I mean, if she mates with the marshal will keep her in check.
I can imagine what that'll be. Probably a bunch of little metal stars.
That'd
Look,
be what?
look. I do not wish her any harm. And between you and I, neither did Jack. That's why he came here. We are trying to find the two boys that she's with because, well, they probably put more risk to her than she does to herself. They are a bit dangerous. they're some pretty wild cowboys, and I am more interested in finding them and protecting her. I was not arresting her to put her in bonds. I was arresting her so that she didn't run back to them and get herself in more danger.
Well, maybe if she comes to trust us, you can tell us where they are.
Oh, this is going to take a bit more to explain than I think you're going to be able to grasp. You're just a couple of simple country folk, and
Simple.
you ladies are good at what you know, but there are things out there in the world that are more than you understand.
Neither Lady Amethyst nor myself are simple.
If y'all say so. And I'm going to put you guys on hold before you kill Bonnie. Marshall and Caleb, what's going on? You got your horses up. The field is on fire. And there's a giant ball in front of you. And you have no idea about the other soldiers. You only know that it landed on the one who was in front of you.
Seems like our chance, Marshal.
Yeah, we better get going now.
Yeah, well, sometimes I don't know if the man upstairs is trying to kill us or looking out for us.
Sometimes it's a little of both, bud. Trail boss has his plans. We just make with them. And I'll get Blue going and indicate to Caleb that he should do the same. And once we're a little ways out of the field, I would like to let off 3 shots of my pistol.
It's going to be a bit of a challenge to get out of the field because it is on fire and it's a bit of a maze for you. So we're going to have to do some rolls for that, but hold on, because about this point, Silk, you end up on the road just outside the field, and the entire thing is ablaze.
And she just yells out like, "Boys! Caleb! Marshall!"
And I will let you guys roll me a wits and composure, and let's see if you hear her. All right.
2.
All right. I think that's enough to hear her and kind of get a rough sense of direction. All right. So I'm not going to make you roll to find your way out of the maze because I think you're going to have it with those successes. But you are going to have to deal with the horses and with the fire. And I'm going to say that getting out of here, your horses are going to take 4 bashing damage. And you are going to take 4 bashing damage. And as you come out into the street, there you see Armageddon, Silk on the back of her horse.
Are they mounted?
Were you guys mounted on your horses or just leading them out?
Oh, yeah.
I'll leave that up to you.
Oh, I'm mounted on my horse.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Right. So I think that's where we're going to leave it tonight. And then we will pick up from here next week. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. And yes, that was a handy asteroid. And for those of you who may not be familiar with the tale, I strongly recommend you look up the story of how Rod Serling came up with the Twilight Zone, because it's very similar to what just happened. So, all right. With that, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Onyx Path, for having us here. And please check out the Kickstarters and things for Onyx Path that are going on. Be sure to check out the sale on Drive-Thru RPG, because right now, if you do print books, they're on sale and they're going to be raising the prices to a phenomenal amount. So consider that really something to go look at. When we go off here, there will be a slideshow. Check out the other streams that are coming on here. We got some great ones coming up, so go follow along on there. And I think that's it for me this week. Anybody got anything they want to? All right, Marshall.
Well, as always, I want to remind people that your mental health is a very serious thing. As I've said before, it's just as important as brushing your teeth. Doing a little bit of something to help yourself out each day can really make the difference. And if you do let it sit a long time, it can get pretty bad. I've been there myself where I felt like I couldn't get up off of the couch, and I wished every day that I wasn't waking up. And if you find yourself in that position, please talk to somebody, reach out to your friends, reach out to your family. And if you can't talk to either of them, please, there are numbers you can call, and there are people you can speak with that'll help find some options that you have available, because there are always options. You don't want to find yourself in that position where people are finding out that something terrible has happened to you. They'd much rather hear about what's going on in your life. They'd much rather try to help you. And there's no shame in asking for help. I know that it can be a little bit difficult sometimes. I struggled with it a lot myself. But I can honestly tell you that it can improve. Things can change. It may not be the best outcome all the time, but as long as you're working towards something better, you're not putting yourself in a position where it's only going to get worse. So please, please talk to people, reach out to them. You might find out that they care a lot more than you think they do. And if you are doing well, please speak to your friends, speak to your family, check on them, make sure they're doing all right. You never know when that message you send them today makes the difference. I know personally, for me, I have trouble reaching out to the people I care about because I don't know what to say. That's all right. Just say something. Say hello. Say good morning. It doesn't have to be really complicated. I hope you folks will do well this evening, tomorrow, the next day, and take care of yourselves.
Mm-hmm. Thank you again, everybody. And someone in the chat said the prices already went up, so I'm behind. So darn. Well, look at the PDFs. Seriously, check out the other streams that are come up. There's some good stuff out there, and we will see you next week. So have a good one.